Hi guys, happy Friday. So today we are going to make a very fun necklace that I made for myself, but I want to share it with you guys. It's kind of like, you know when you've been somewhere, you've done that, you've got the t-shirt, you got the shot glass. Why not make a piece of jewelry that you could wear when you're not at that special place to remind you of that special place. So I'm gonna put this on a bust so you guys could see it. I'm gonna show you a couple of different techniques today. So if you're just joining and this is your first time, welcome. My name is Rita Panula. I am the design director for ImpressArt. Here in New York, we're still on pause, as the governor calls it, but you know, we're still sheltering in place. And our restrictions haven't been lifted yet. So we haven't been able to go into the office, but due to technology, we're able to come to you guys 3 days a week. So if you're just tuning in, you'll be able to see Jen, well, not see Jen, but interact with Jen, see me Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So this, and I'm gonna show you a closer look. This is, let's see if I could touch it and zoom in. So this is my time traveler's necklace, okay? So it's a mix of a lot of different fun stuff. So I will bring you up closer to show you how I put this together and how I stamped it and different techniques I used. And also to show you how you could use 2 ball chains to make a longer statement necklace. All right. So hi, Christine. So Christine is definitely aware of where Eagle Lake is in the Pocono Mountains, in North Pocono. So that is my happy place. So this is a necklace that I made. And I was actually, when we talk about stamping it forward, guys, because we're still on hold here, I was asked to donate a piece of jewelry for a raffle from a local bead store that I help out in. And a lot of you beautiful creatives are from there. And yes, Christine, I'm going to show you how to break up that ball chain. So they're doing a silent auction and the money is going to be auctioned off for hospitals in the area. So today on the live, you guys are going to help me make that necklace, and the place that we've picked, because we are on Long Island, is Montauk. So I'm going to show you how you could design your pieces a little bit differently from the regular Montauk or design stamp. I'm going to be using a lot of 6mm design stamps. I have a piece of sea glass that I actually found on Montauk a couple of years back that I made sure I drilled a hole in before the live today, because that would have been a mess. I'm not great at that, that we're going to use. But when you guys go on vacation and you always see those coin machines, you know, you put your quarter in or your 50 cents in and you crank out that penny, you can make jewelry with that, guys. You could also stamp on those. So let's say you're going over, I forgot what bridge that is in Maryland, but there is a machine, a crank machine. Montauk, Carly, is that's the point. That's the end of Long Island. So there's a big lighthouse and it's very beautiful. So basically we're going to do a necklace that's beach themed, ocean themed today. So guys, going back to that, even when you're on vacation and those penny machines, the smashed pennies, get those smashed pennies, guys, because you could stamp on those. So let's say you're going through a town. We travel a lot for ImpressArt. Jen and I, this is one of our favorite things to do in the whole entire world. We always run up to those penny machines and get one cranked out. We take that home and you could stamp the date on there, guys. So now you have a piece of jewelry from where you're from. I can't tell you how many pennies, smashed pennies I have. Angela, you could totally make a hand stamped necklace out of that. So Jen is my savior. Jen said Montauk, New York is the very east point of Long Island. It's the end. So we're not going to really, like I said, you know, we've got the t-shirt, we got the shot glass, so we're not going to use Montauk, but I'm going to use the end. instead of Montauk. So if it's being raffled for someone, obviously on Long Island, they're gonna love this piece of jewelry. Christine, definitely use those. Stamp on them. Guys, stamp on your pennies. Kimona also, Kimona watches every day, and she's a hand stamper. She's one of your fellow hand stampers, guys. Kimona lives on the island, and she also stamped it forward to all of the nurses in the hospital that she works at. And, you know, definitely go to ImpressArt.com, go down under the drop down, stamp it forward, and take a look at what all of you wonderful ladies and gentlemen have been submitting to us. We're super grateful. So I think we're gonna start. So I'm gonna bring you over. I know I leaked a new font, a signature font. We're gonna use that font today. So we're gonna actually use a couple of fonts today. So I'm excited to make this project with you. So I am going to take you over to my block, and I'm gonna show you an up close pictures, you know, up close video of the necklace that I made. And then we're going to start one together. All right. So, let me clean off my block. I'm going to show you guys how to use the bezels today too. Okay, here we go. So, if you see here, guys, this is my necklace. So I have the coordinates. How beautiful are those? So this, I'm gonna pull this down a little bit. These are the coordinates, okay? This is my lot number. And I just wanna show you what I did here. So I incorporated the large letter stamps. So this is a 12 millimeter letter set. Okay, not a letter set, singly. You could purchase them, I believe, on the website, right, Jen? In a bundle, but they're sold per piece. They're design stamps. They're really big. They're really nice. Let me see if I could pull one out for you guys to show you up close. So here we have, I just pulled out a W. Let me pull this up. Okay, so they're nice and big. Okay. So I used that, and then I just filled it in with, obviously, Panula is my last name, Rita, Sean, and Samantha. Sean's my husband, Sam's my daughter. So I just used different size and different fonts. So with this one, you have the typewriter font, you have a 1.5 sans serif. So this just is another way to take up space on your discs. So here we are. I just cut a random piece of a blank. I had a 2-inch round circle disc that I used to scrap, and I really needed something long, so I went in with the new signature typewriter. Guys, the signature typewriter is like the regular typewriter, but it's rated for steel. They're nice and they're nice and thin. They're nice and crisp. You can see how clean those lines are. And then I took my mountain stamp, my canoe stamp, my bird stamp, and one of the stamps from the bird pack to create a scene. Put lake life on there. And then another way, so I'm giving you guys a little hint today. Hi, Mary. So, see this baby right here? We are coming out in the next month or so with the large state stamps. And a star, a tiny star, and a tiny heart. It'll be the custom ultra detail stamp, so you'll be able to get them in a 6 millimeter design stamp or a 9.5 or a 12. Okay, obviously the 12s are nice and big. And you'll be able to put your heart in and around the area that you live in. So right here, my heart that I put in there is in the Poconos. And this is Pennsylvania. All right. So that's what we're going to do today, guys. I'm going to show you how to do a couple of things. We're going to build some scenery. We're going to put some coordinates in there using the coordinate pack. And also these ball chain necklaces, the artisan ball chain, just like this. So you can make a longer necklace that goes over the head by using 2 necklaces. We're just going to take off both clasps, and you're going to take off the extender, and you're just going to use jump rings. And it goes right over the head, and you could always dangle a bead on there. So what I'm going to use today, guys, is I'm so in love, and I didn't have them while I was making this necklace. So I'm so in love with our beautiful crystals, our crystal chips, our semi-precious chips. I'm going to work with the goldstone. We're going to play around with it and see how we like it. Yes, so we're definitely going to have Melinda. We'll have Tennessee. We're going to have Michigan. So I know a lot of us are not air traveling this year, so it's all about the U.S. We are going to, you're going to go with ImpressArt on a road trip. We're going to have a bunch of different states. So, and I have one today that was custom and made for me. We're going to use an ultra detail Long Island stamp. So for those of you who are on Long Island and want one of these stamps, it's going to be a little bit different when they're made. Like I said, this is a custom one for me, so I wanted it all solid. But the other ones are going to be completely empty in the center, so you could put your heart exactly where you want it. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to utilize, well, I'm going to show you what I pulled out today. So I pulled out the canoe stamp. I think that's a little blurry. There we go. The canoe stamp. I pulled out the bird. I pulled out a starfish. A couple more little birds. Bird cluster. Of course, I pulled out a lighthouse. An anchor. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use all these. There we go, a wheel. I pulled out a wave. And then I have my coordinates pack. All right, so I'm going to start with my copper discs. So these are the 1¼ inch. And if it's not an 1¼ inch, Jen is going to correct me. All right. And I am going to, before I place my hole, this is very important. I never put my hole in my disc until after I stamp them. Okay? So I'm going to actually use my Austin. So Austin is an exclusive font that we did for Michaels. And this is the number set. I'm going to use this number set for my coordinates that my daughter so willingly got for me while I was busy this morning. So I'm going to pull out my stamps. Now I'm going to go around. Instead of going around the bottom, because we're going to have all that bead cluster around the bottom, we're going to go around the top. Oh, Angela, you're going to love Austin. Austin's one of my very, very favorite fonts. I'm going to locate my hammer. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to start with my coordinate. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to place that right in the center. Do you see how I'm lining that up? I'm kind of really eyeballing it. I don't want to use a sticker guide on this. So I am just, don't want it to be too perfect. So I'm going all around. Now, when you're using copper, guys, you're going to have to hit it a little bit harder than usual. And I'm going to use my circle from my coordinates pack. Do you see that? And then I'm going to use my dot. Okay, and I'm going to come in with my north. I should have taken that out before. Okay, let's get my N and my W. Okay. So like I said before, I am missing parts of my coordinates pack. So I'm going to use my comma from my Juniper set. And then I'm going to come in with my North. Okay, so now we have that. Yeah, you could search on Google, ask Alexa, ask Siri. Yeah, Kimona, she's quite the character, my daughter. So Austin is a 3mm font. Okay, so it is, if you're having problems keeping the ink in there, you're not letting it dry enough. And sometimes because it's wide, it's wider, it's got more of a surface space, you need to go a little bit deeper with your stamping. All right. So, okay, so I have that. This is my West. I'm going to continue. Now I'm going to leave a spot because I'm going to leave a space because that's where I know I want my hole to go. So I'm going to start with my 7. And again, guys, if you are having problems, if you're having problems keeping the ink in there and after hitting it once, definitely rock your stamp. There's nothing wrong with rocking your stamp. So let me pull this up so you could see. Pull this up. You want to hit it once and then rock it back and forth. So it's nice and deep. See how that impression's deeper? Remember, when your ink isn't staying in your impressions, it's because your impression isn't deep enough or you are wiping it away too soon. And my 1. You could just rock it back and forth and you get it nice and deep. So Jen definitely put that link up for the coordinates pack, guys. Coordinates are fantastic. It's a great pack, really easy to use. I'm gonna put my W. There we go. That aside. Okay. So then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put my dot where I want it. And now I want to hang my my charms for the bottom. So not only am I using my charms, oh, my fingers are not working today. You know it's a Friday when I can't pick anything up. Here we go. I also want to hang those semi-precious chips. So I'm going to hang them a little bit differently. This is my piece of sea glass from Montauk that I got. So I am just laying out where I want my pieces. Okay, because I am going to wrap my jump ring around these and I'm going to dangle my pieces from it. And with this one, I'm actually going to use my long piece and I'm going to layer that on top. So those are the 3 holes that I'm going to use my screw hole punch for. So here, Susan, Arcadia, we are actually going to use Arcadia on Wednesday. So if you want to tune in on Wednesday, I'm going to show you little tips and tricks on how to use that. Okay. So the spacing, Susan, I'm going to use typewriter today, but you could definitely watch how I use the sticker guides because it's basically Arcadia and typewriter are the same width. Let me pull this back. I know my big hands are in the way. I apologize. I wish I could take the credit for that sea glass piece, but I have to give credit where credit's due, because if he's watching, he's going to call me out on it. That was definitely all my husband. So he found that piece, and then I just pretended that I found the piece, which is always fun. Kelly, we're doing a piece today for, as like a traveling memory piece, and we're doing Montauk. Montauk is the end of Long Island, and I found that last year on the beach. So I just took it home. It sat on my block, my bench block for a while, and then I just acquired a bit to put a hole in it. But I was a newbie too. YouTube, guys. And these lives are also on YouTube. With the punch, do you have any tips of removing the piece without scratching? If you notice, I never let my piece, let me show you. I never let my piece touch that top. Let me see if I could point to it and you guys could see it. See that top right there? I never let my piece touch that. So I make sure that I puncture my disc and then I unscrew it, so I don't have any scratches or puckering on either sides. All right. I did go a little close to this, but it's handmade, right? It's for a good cause. So I'm going to put that over. Kimona, I think you asked me... the Austin number I just used are a 3mm font. All right. So now we're going to put this aside because we know that we have all our holes done. And we're going to do scenes. Okay. So the scene that I'm going to do is I'm going to put a lighthouse. Okay. Right about here. And I'm using a 6mm lighthouse stamp. Let me pull this up a little bit. And with our 6mm fonts, I just like to tilt and tap it, rock it back and forth to get all of that impression in there. See, I should have looked at the stamp first because I would have put it right up there. But we're going to continue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take... Oh my God, I could keep you guys on here forever because now I'm just grazing stamps now to see. Grazing stamps. So since I am a perfectionist and that is going to bother me, I'm just going to stamp another one really quick. So I'm going to put my lighthouse up here. And I'm going to rock it back and forth. So the metal that I'm using today, Kathleen, is Alchemy. It's a soft metal. Yes, Mary, I can. Let's talk a little bit about that while I'm working. Yes, a 4mm font would work also, Barbara. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. I'm just trying to get to everybody's. Mary. You should always include some kind of care instructions in pieces that you're selling. You know, be a hand stamper myself and having my own business, I was constantly getting people saying, oh, the black came out. But I realized that the black comes out of everybody's rings if you're overdoing it with any kind of alcohol or antibacterial, any perfume. So I definitely would put care instructions saying that, you know, you shouldn't sleep in your jewelry. It's not waterproof, you know, so on and so forth. But Jen and I are going to have a business class. We're starting to take emails. We'll probably have that in the next month or two or so. And we're going to go over all of that. So if you want to send Mary a private message to us and let us know you know, that you're interested, you'll be put on the list. Yes, putting a crystal in the center of that lighthouse would be amazing. But I think this necklace would take us all day if I did that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put two waves in there, okay? And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I'm going to come in with my ball peen head, and I am going to fill in the bottom of my water. How nice is that, guys? It gives it a lot of texture that way. So I'm going to just be really careful and try not to smash my impressions. And I'm going to come in with my water. How nice is that? Sometimes I surprise myself, guys. How pretty is that? And now I'm just going to, I'm not going to put any font on this, you know, because I don't know if, you know, the person who is bidding on this wants it that in depth, but I'm going to definitely do a bird. So remember, when your stamps, learn from my mistake, definitely keep a scrap piece so you know how your birds and your lighthouses are going. So I know my bird is going up to my right. I kind of want my bird going up to my left. So I'm going to twist him a little bit. Let's see how that comes out. Perfect. So I am going to tilt and tap my bird. I could have gone up a little bit more. And then I'm going to do a flock of them right down here. And I'm going to go off my blank because I kind of, you know, I kind of don't want it so cookie cutter. So see how they're a little off there. But I love that. And the ocean looks really nice. Okay. And you could do more waves, but I like them at just the two. I love the texturing of the ball peen. It just gives it a little something. Okay, so that is one of my charms. Now I'm going to come in, and I don't know, we haven't done a live on these, but these are my favorite. So these are the bezels, guys, and your inserts, okay? They come in brass, they come in copper color, they come in all different. You know what? I think I'm going to grab the copper. Let's see if I have the copper so I could show you guys. So the copper is really pretty. So this is the oval. I honestly don't have the copper in the round at home. See, I don't have everything here with me. So these are really nice. And the insert goes right in with your glue. So I am going to take my custom stamp. Okay, I'm going to take my Long Island stamp. And I am going to center that. And there is my Long Island. And you could see it's a lot of negative space in there. That's how I chose my stamp. The stamps, the AI on the road stamps that we're coming out with are going to be lined. So you could put your heart where you want it, in the center or on the tip of that. Let's see if I could. There we go. So that is my Long Island. So what I'm going to do, guys, when you're using your 12 millimeter stamps and you have to hit them a little hard, you see how it's cupping on the bottom? Okay, what you want to do is, and you know what? I forgot to, what did I forget? My regulars, what did I forget to put on my block? I forgot to put my scratch protector sheet. I'm going to put that on now. What's great about the scratch protectors, guys, is you don't have any marring when you have to turn your blanks over. So it's cupping a little bit. I'm putting it flat on my block. I'm taking my nylon head. Okay. Melinda's the winner. My stickers. So guys, I love these. You're just going to give it a couple of nice taps. And you're going to see that it's nice and flat. Okay. So I'm going to come in actually, and I am going to color that in because I'm going to show you how to use. I'm going to color both of these in. And I'm going to let them sit a little because I want that detail in those waves to get a little dark. So with these bezels, what works great with them is the GS Hypo. Okay, I'm going to come back in with my paper towel, just dry household paper towel. Okay, and I'm really, let me flip this down a little bit so you could see it. Hi, Noelle. All right. I'm going to take it, and you could see that I'm just, when you have something with so much negative space in the center, when you have a stamp like that, you're just really going to work with your paper towel, guys. And you could also utilize this with your Austin font. If you have a font that has a lot of negative space in it, it's wide. Celtic is like that also. But I take a little point of my paper towel, and I like it to look antiqued. So see how I'm just literally antiquing it? All I did was rub out a little of that center so it looks like a really nice liver of sulfur look. Work with your enamel markers, guys. They are amazing. All right, and then if I don't like it, I could come back in, fill it in again. I'm gonna let it dry, but while it's drying, I'm gonna take my GS Hypo. And you know what I say about GS Hypo, never squeeze, right? Because it always makes a ball. So you're gonna put that inside. Give it a couple of nice dots. Remember, guys, if your blank is cupping and you don't flatten it out with your nylon head, your metal will pop out of the bezel. You're just going to place that right inside. And it definitely just gives it a completely different look. Now, if I was at my studio at ImpressArt, I would definitely have the copper available. So I probably would have gone with the copper as opposed to the silver. But, you know, we're doing the best we can. Yes, Alicia, you can use this GS Hypo that we have. It's on the website. Jen could post the link. So then I'm going to come back in. I'm going to set that aside so I want it to dry. Remember, you want it to set. It sets in a few hours, but you definitely want, especially these bezels, you want them to sit 24 hours. All right? So I'm just lightly wiping because I want some of that black to stay in my texture. And I think I might have rubbed a little too much, but I could always go back in. Dab it, lightly wipe. There are my birds. What's good to use when you're doing detail like this is a Q-tip as well. No, Melinda, it's dry. It's a dry paper towel. And there we go. So you see that I left I could have gone back in. Hi, Katie. And just, I wanted a little darker there. So I'm going to put it aside. I'm going to let it dry a little bit. All right. So I have that. And now I'm going to work with my font. So you could see that my metal's a little bit scratched up. So I am going to take my medium side, because everyone knows how I am a big fan of the matte finish on all my personal jewelry. It just looks nice. And a little secret to photographing, things photograph much easier when they're matte. Hi, Caroline. Carolyn. I have a lot of Carolyns and Carolines in my life. So I'm going to, I love that matte look. And guys, if you don't like the matte look, but you need to get rid of your little scratches, definitely you could use the Superfine. And it's still going to be a matte. It's still going to have a texture on it, but you'll be able to shine that up. Okay, so it'll be like a brushed silver. All right, not so much of a matte. Alicia, I believe Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and Joann's has it, but you could totally buy it at ImpressArt.com if you're in a state where they're not open yet. So I'm going to take my sticker guide and I am going to place it. Now remember what I tell you about the bracelet blanks, right? That line across the top, if you let that meet up with the edge of your metal, anything that's a 1/4 inch, so this is a 1/4 inch alchemy strip, okay? If you line that up a little bit, guys, you'll stamp in the middle. Little pro tip for you guys, okay? So here is my sticker guide, and I am gonna go with the end instead of Montauk. So I'm gonna go with here we go. All right, so I am gonna use our new signature, it's not released yet, signature typewriter, okay? The signature typewriter, this is the lowercase. All the lowercase sets that we have that are in these cases, guys, come with 6 punctuation, okay? And the uppercase comes with 6 design stamps. All right, so I'm gonna pull out my T and my E in uppercase. Move that off my bench block because I'm kind of crowded today. I'm gonna pull out my N, pull out my D, my H and my E. H, E, perfect. So I am going to always remember that the ImpressArt's facing you. That's how you know you're stamping in the right direction, guys. The last thing you want to do is not pay attention to your indicator marks, and by the end of your word, you're upside down, you're backwards, you throw your metal across, or at least I do, across the room, and my project sits in the corner and I never come back to my piece. So definitely want to pay attention to these indicator marks. You're going to bring this down. Lightly drag it, line that up with what you have written on that sticker, okay? And I'm gonna do a little tilt and tap, just back and forward, side to side, to get my serifs in there. So there's my T. And my H. And my E. And now I'm hitting it very lightly because they're sharp, and I just want to get that whole font in there. Okay. Bring that down. It's my E. And you could see how nice and crisp these impressions are. I pulled out a U instead of an N, which wouldn't have been fun. Flat, drag that down, line that up. Here's my N and my D. And there is the end, is what they call Montauk, the lighthouse. All right. And I think at the bottom of that, let's see, guys. What do you think should I do? Should I do a... I don't want to put another lighthouse on there. So what I have left is the canoe. I have... I feel like a canoe is more for a lake. How about an anchor? I think an anchor would be perfect. So now I'm going to take my scrap piece, right? And I'm just going to test it out. So I know this anchor isn't at a tilt, so it goes up and down. I want to be different, okay? So I want it to go, I want it to kind of go off the anchor. I want it to go off my metal. So I think I'm going to do it on an angle. So again, I always test my stamp, and that's exactly how I wanted it. I wanted it on an angle. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to tap it, tilt it and tap it. And I want to get all of my impression in there. Perfect. So I have it on a nice angle, okay? And sometimes when you're stamping and it's a 1/4 inch, it's small. Because remember, this is a 3mm font. This is a 6mm anchor, okay? You get that little bulge on the sides of your metal. Guys, it's super easy fix. Take your nylon head from your multifunction hammer and let this block do the work for you, because I'm hitting it with my nylon head on one side and it's flattening out the other side. Then I'm turning it and just knocking it. Look at that. No bulges. No bulges. How nice, Terry, right? It's beautiful. I love it. I really, really love it. Great, great, great font. So then I'm going to put my hole where I love it. I'm going to take my screw hole punch. And I am going to poke my hole. There we go. Okay, I'm going to take my enamel marker. Melinda, you just need to go somewhere. I know, we're all feeling that. We are all feeling that. You know, everything's very uncertain right now, unfortunately, but you can make a necklace about someplace that you've been, not exactly where you're going. So lightly dab that, lightly wipe. And there we go. We have the end. So we're going to put that here. I'm going to bring back my scenery, and I'm going to, again, you guys just fold your paper towel. Get it really tight. And, you could use it as a eraser lightly, because I was super aggressive in my true nature before. And just lightly, use it as an eraser. Look how pretty that looks. I love it. All right, so antiquing your ball peen can definitely be done with your enamel marker and your sword here first. All right. So I'm going to put that aside, and I am going to come back in with my coordinates piece, and I'm just going to, let me pull this back up. I'm just going to shine that up a little bit. Love, love, love my copper. All right, guys, so I'm using the super fine. Look how beautifully that shines that up. I'm going to move that over. Here we go. I'm nice and shined up. I'm going to come in with my enamel. I'm going to color that in. I'm going to blot it. I'm going to let it dry because remember we were talking about the Austin font, how it's got a lot of negative space. It's a very wide inset. So I'm just going to let that hang out there for a second. And I'm going to bring in my charms. All right. I'm going to bring in my piece of sea glass. Actually, see, with you guys here, I just had an idea. So we're going to add another step to this. See the curvature of my sea glass? What do you guys think I'm going to use on my metal? I'm going to use my dapping block. So my scenery lays right inside with the curvature of that. Let me bring this back so you could see it. Of that sea glass. So I'm going to put my punch in the center. Take my hammer. Give it 2 hits. Nothing aggressive, guys. Remember, it's a soft metal. I'm going to put my dapping block away because I'm already crowded. See how that lays in there now? I'm so happy I took the dapping block to that. All right, so it kind of lays right inside of that piece. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and I think I need a bigger hole in my center disc for my center. I'm going to come right back in. I'm going to follow the hole that I already poked through with the screw hole punch. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. So Carly asked how I don't get it to scratch. So everybody gave really good suggestions about how they do it. I simply don't let it hit that top. So now I'm poked through. See how much room I have left? I just take it. I make sure that it doesn't turn around. And I just unscrew it. And then I have no... Let's see if I can get that zoomed in. Yep, I have no marks on there. So before I turn my hands yes, you just have to be very careful. Our dapping block is made of a really strong plastic and nylon to reduce any marring on the discs. See how I'm just going very lightly, guys? Make sure your paper towel's dry. I know everybody's like, oh, I put this on it, I put that on it. But do you see how I just used it? Like an eraser. All right. And then I could come back in and I could color it in again. I like that sometimes, like I'll do it on purpose to not have that enamel so thick in it. I like that kind of like a vintage look to it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to take my jump ring and I'm going to make sure that I'm using 2 chain nose pliers. I am laterally spreading it. You don't want to take your jump rings and pull them apart like that because you compromise that metal. These right here are copper throughout jump rings. Okay, I don't know if we still have these in stock. We might be out of these, but any of our jump rings would be great. So I'm going to have to go back in and just make that hole a little bit bigger because I'm using a thicker jump ring for this piece. I'm through, right, with all that room still. I'm holding on to my piece so it doesn't scratch. Pulling it back. Perfect. No scratches. All right, so I'm going to take my jump ring. I'm going to put my blank on and I'm going to put it right through. Whoops. And there it goes, guys. We're live. We're real here. Hopefully I could find it. Okay, I got it. So I'm going to just have to pull my jump ring apart a little bit more. All right. There we go. That happens to me all the time. I'm constantly dropping stuff and then the cat comes and she bats it around. So I'm going to put it right on there. I'm going to take my jump ring, my pliers, and I'm just going to move it right back. Jump rings, guys, make sure that they're always perfect, okay, so they don't open. So here's our first piece. All right. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to do my jump rings. So I'm going to open this. Okay. Nope, not backwards. I'm going to put that just like that. Okay. And I think I'm going to use, what did we say that we were going to use today? I was going to use the goldstone because I just like how it looks on, I'm dropping them everywhere today. I like how it looks with the copper and the sea glass. So I'm going to take that and I am going to twist them back closed. So I have that nice cluster right in the front. Okay? Just like that. All right. Then I'm going to come in with my silver jump rings. And I am going to attach Teresa, I actually have the beach glass that my husband found when we were in Montauk. So that's something that I just picked up on the way and I drilled a hole in. take it, close that, just like that. You know, I love the look of the jump rings. You don't necessarily have to have a hole in it, you know, using your washer. It just looks really pretty. Yes, Kelly, they all come wired. They all come wired already. So they have their chips, their semi-precious chips, and they have that wire. Everything's ready to go for you guys. Hi, Susie. And I'm going to come back in. With my other. And see, now I just keep on piling it on. I'm going to put another jump ring here and maybe 2 on the side, and bring in some more stones. I'm going to open another jump ring. I'm going to, let's see. I think I'm going to use, you know what? I think I like the labradorite better. What do you think, guys? Do you think the labradorite is nicer? I kind of like how that looks. I feel like the lapis is a little too much. I think I really like the labradorite on these. I think I'm going to go with the labradorite. Take that gold stone off. Oh, there we go. And I just lost them. Put them back on. Just like that. So, remember I told you should let your bezel dry. Don't do what I just did. See, I didn't let my bezel dry. My bezel fell out. So you definitely want to let it set for all intents and purposes. I definitely like I think the labradorite is definitely much nicer. So I'm going to take these. I'm going to take these off and try not to mess with my bezel. Too much. Oh, it's one of those days. Nothing wants to go my way today. And my hammer's gonna fall. All right, we're back. There we go. The struggles of a wet bezel. The struggles of a wet bezel. All right, let's get some labradorite. Perfect. I like that much better. Much better, much better. There we go. So much nicer. I love it. So then I'm just going to come back in with 2 more jump rings, and then I'm going to show you guys how you could use 2 chains to make a longer chain. Now, if you like using your screw down hole punch, you don't have to do your jump rings around it. I just like how it looks. I like how it sits, you know. With the other one that I made, you know, if you don't have it, you could utilize beads. I just like how it sits around. Oh, Noelle, you just got your shipment. Fantastic. I'm going to take that. And do I have any more? Oh, I have one right here. And I am going to put it together. And I just think this looks so nice. And you could continue. You could put more. I obviously have more on this necklace, okay, than I have on this one, okay? But I don't want to overcrowd it too much because I like a lot. Maybe someone who's bidding on this might not like it, like as much flare as I like. Yeah, Dale, isn't it great? Yes, this would also, Melinda, this would also be really good for a memory of a loved one. I agree. I agree. So it just hangs so nicely. All right, so we're going to go to, this is actually a blown glass bead from a friend of mine in the industry. So I just like the contrast of it, so I'm going to put that on. But I want to show you guys how to, I'm going to set this aside so I don't mess with the bezel too much. I want to show you, oh God, and I dumped out all of my, don't work like me, I'm a bit messy. How you can utilize 2 chains, okay? So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have your jump rings on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 4 jump rings, okay? I'm going to open them up. So what you're going to do with the artisan chain, okay, is you're going to take your lobster claw off one side, and the other side you're going to take your extender off. And you're going to place them with just 6mm jump rings. Okay, so before I do that, I'm going to attach it to my copper. And guys, you can even ball peen these. So you could take, I'm going to take one that I haven't used. And I'm going to, you can just, if you promise you don't hit your fingers, you could ball peen texture it. Because it's copper, it will hold it. So I can't really show you how I'm doing it here because it's going to go flying, but you get the gist of it. You could definitely give it a little flair by giving a little texture to your jump ring. Yes, Seelin. Jacqueline's definitely stamping this weekend. And Jacqueline, I want to see pictures if you're definitely stamping this weekend. And guys, just polish them up a little bit. So I'm going to replace that jump ring that I just put on there. Yeah, Terry said, ooh. So I think we're about an hour and a half. So you know what, Melinda, tape it down if you feel like you're going to hit your thumb. So I'm going to put this on here. And I'm going to close it, and I'm going to take the other jump ring off because I just think this looks so much nicer. And guys, you could even ball peen your copper jump rings on this. That would look really nice. I'm going to take that off. All right, so I'm going to take my jump ring, this jump ring. So you can't replace your brass hammer. So your brass hammer is your Argo angle hammer. I'm going to pull that up really quick to show you guys, which is this one. Yes, Carly, you could definitely texture an aluminum jump ring. The only thing you cannot texture, guys, is plated jump rings. Okay, so this hammer is the Argo angle hammer. You can unscrew this only to replace the brass head. This is the multifunction hammer, and you unscrew it, and you could pop in different heads with this. So the multifunction kit has 4 different heads with it. So those are the 2 different hammers. So, okay, so we have our jump ring. I attached the wrong one, which is always fun. So I'm getting ahead of myself with with it. All right, so I am going to put my other jump ring. So now this is using 2 18-inch artisan ball chains. All right, so here's one part of my clasp. Now this is going to be long enough, guys, that you could put this over your head. So when you're texturing your jump rings, make sure you texture both sides. All right. And then I'm going to come around and I'm going to put my jump ring on my piece. All right. And I'm going to make sure that I put it on my chain. All right, so here is my textured piece. Now I'm going to come around and take the other end and that's done. Where's my other side? I'm going to attach my other side. And then my other jump ring. I always, I like to put just random objects, even if they're not jewelry. I'm really fond of mixed media, and I like to incorporate it with my stamping. So I always incorporate like crazy doodads and things that I have. So I am, like I said, I have a friend who, her name is Rita too. So we're 2 Ritas. And she is a glass blower, and I picked these up from her in Tucson. So I am just going to just attach it to add some color, you know? And it doesn't have to be in the back of your necklace, guys. It could be visible in the front. All right, so your clasp is just, let me pull it back a little bit so you could see. You have that really pretty, just random, you could do a bead, you could do a crystal cluster with the semi-precious chips. That would look good also if you don't want that pop of color, you know. And here you go. And I just lost a bead, but that's it. And it goes right over your head. It's just a pop of color. And it looks great with these labradorite. Guys, if you don't have these in your carts already, and I'm not a salesperson, I'm terrible at it, definitely pick these up. All right. And then definitely, guys, these bezels are fantastic. It does look like it's a very bohemian hobo look, yes. Yes, very much so. So Kelly, I used about 2 chains, okay? And I would show you in the video, but the screen, I can't get it down that much. So basically it's about 24 inches, all right? And it goes right, I have a pretty big head, and it goes over my head. So definitely utilize your copper. You know, you could even do something with if you don't want to use the washer, you could use any of the eclipse shapes. Okay, so I had a lot of fun and they're falling off. That's what happens when I have a tripod in front of me, guys. So I'll have to shore all of those up before I hand this off to be auctioned off. So these are all really great ideas to add other elements to any of the pieces. Like I said, if you're feeling inspired and you don't have the crystals, the semi-precious chips, you could definitely use any beads that you have around for now and hang them. But I just think the crystals look so much nicer. All right. So much nicer. So I'm going to flip you guys around. So thank you. Do you have any suggestions? Let's see. Hold on one second. Let me get you guys in there so I can read some comments. Hi, Katie. Do you have any suggestions about practice piece to stamp on? I'm using a lot of aluminum blanks. Okay, so what I suggest stamping on is, guys, invest in bracelet blanks. Because you could stamp on both sides of them, it's just keep on alphabet, A through Z, A through Z. Definitely use these because you could stamp a lot on them. We also have them in a thicker size that you could use. So definitely I suggest using the aluminum. Aluminum is good for starters because it's soft and you'll learn how to hit your stamps. If you're going with the copper, the 16 gauge, I don't really suggest using copper because you have to hit it a little harder. So if you're just starting out, I do suggest that you use aluminum. Well, you're very welcome, Lynn. Thank you, Barbara. You're welcome, Katie. Yes, and Lynn hit the nail on the head. Use the blanks you mess up. Guys, you have texture hammers. You have texture heads. Definitely texture those blanks, and you could layer them. So let's say you made a mess on one of them. Texture it up, and then use it as a base metal, and then put another piece of stamped metal on top of it. Layering. What's the best gauge for cuff bracelets? Ruth. So Ruth, let's see, 16 gauge. 16 gauge. So, yes, Angela. So smash pennies, guys. So if you're out and about and you're just driving around this weekend, or you're going to a lake house, or you're going camping and you see a smashed penny machine, definitely get some done because you could always stamp on those. After it's smashed, take your numbers and put the date on it. Make a bracelet, maybe we'll do a tutorial on how to make a bracelet out of blanks. I think maybe we'll do that. You want to mail me pennies? That would be great. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Marianne. My friend in California. How are you, sweetheart? So you can mail, definitely, if you send us a private message, Jen and I could give you the address to ImpressArt, and you could, put our name on it, and we'll definitely get it. So The aluminum bracelets, Jen just corrected me. Aluminum bracelets are 14 gauge. The brass and copper are 16. I'm the creative. Jen's all information. I just show you guys how to make it. Yes, smashed pennies are great. Well, thank you, Sandy. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, Dale, I have a lot of our Elvish, our smashed pennies from Memphis when I did that retreat with you guys. So I'm still waiting to use them. I know, Mary, it's rough. Everybody, Marianne, I see my daughter going crazy and she's 10. So I learned 2 things from this homeschooling. 1, teachers don't make nearly enough money as they should. And 2, I want to be a mom. I don't want to be a teacher. And yes, I have a teaching degree, an art teacher's degree. I just want to be her mom. I don't want to be her teacher. So we're looking forward to hopefully starting school again in September. But, you know, stick it out, Marianne. And I know you love making faces on Google Classroom. Marianne is someone that I met at a Craftcation conference that I've become fast friends with. She's an amazing educator. So, Lynn, make some jewelry with those pennies and definitely stamp on them and tag us, I want to say. So, which brings me to, we are still on pause here in New York. So, I'm lucky. Because I get to see all of my coworkers on Google Chat in the morning and the afternoon, and you know, spills over into the evening. So I'm still blessed with the fact that I still have contact with people that I get to see on a regular basis. So I'm lucky. I'm lucky for that. You're welcome, Ruth. So I want everyone to not only try to create this weekend. It's a 3-day weekend for some that are essential employees. Thank you very much. For those of you who are veterans, thank you very much. Me and Jen and the entire team at ImpressArt, thank you guys for tuning in 3 days a week with us. We won't be here on Monday, but me and Jen will be back on Wednesday and Friday. And Friday I have fun stuff on Friday. So fun stuff Fridays. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Get out, take walks, exercise, craft, stamp. I want to see what you guys are making. Me and Jen love to see it. And if you don't want to post it on social media, just send us pictures. You could private message us on Instagram or Facebook and let us see what you're doing. And keep on coming in, sending us in that Stamp It Forward. We want to see those. We want to see what you're making. So have a wonderful weekend. And we look forward to seeing you guys 1 o'clock on Wednesday. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Have a good Friday.